Welcome to Mind Change. This is Antoine Lee, and I just wanted to give some practical advice as we get ready here for the new year. I know even in my own church and my fellowship, our evangelist gave us a challenge coming soon that for the next 52 days, starting January 8th, just to do something for 52 days that helps you to grow in 2017. And especially, I think now, as I get a chance to look back over the last year as a marriage counselor, as a teacher, both for myself and with my wife, just some lessons, some things that I kind of digested from the couples that I see, the victories I saw, some of the rough things that I saw. And I would have to say, it really is, if you want to help your marriage to grow, it's really dealing with the things that could be called by some the rocks in your shoes. And this is what I mean. The things that keep you from having a fresh start. I think everybody wants to have a fresh start. Everybody has these points where they either feel your marriage is stale, or I felt that there's something wrong and I can't quite put my finger on it, or it's overtly just really, really, really painful. But then it's really hard also to get to start new, to have that sense of, okay, well, it's been like this for a while. How do I begin? I got some 3 simple tips, some thoughts that may really, really help. I think the first thing is to see how we get there. How do we get into this point where we can get stuck, if that's where you are at being stuck? If I had to summarize it, I think the best way I could describe it is, believe it or not, one of the reasons we get stuck in our relationships with each other, one of the reasons is that we turn away from each other. It says, well, what does that mean? That seems kind of big. It's not the big things. It's the little moments when our spouse, our husband, our wife is calling for our attention, and we either respond negatively or we have no response. So it may be something as simple as your spouse walks up to you and you're working at your computer or looking at your phone, which I actually heard is a big deal now in the modern times, and your spouse makes a big sigh, and you could have 2 reactions. You could either look up from your phone and say, wow, are you okay? Or you could just keep tapping away and sliding away at the phone. Or you could look at her or him and go, what? And get annoyed. All except the one where you turn towards in a positive way literally chips away at your relationship. And those little moments, which may be dozens of times in a day, when your spouse may want your attention, may want to just talk, may want a hug, may want to show you something on TV, in the paper, may want to talk about their day, may want to initiate making love, or just may want to show you something that they've done. In those little moments, what I've seen is that couples who have a habit of turning away from each other, they end up creating an atmosphere where arguments and resentments build. And once those arguments and resentments build, they fall into what John Gottman has called the Zeigarnik effect, which sounds fancy, but all it means is this. A researcher found the secret to people having great memories, people like waiters who have all these long orders, they can memorize 20 people's orders, was that they know that they're going to use that information. It's unresolved. It's not finished. And so what they'll do is they'll remember everybody's order, but the minute everybody's order is given to them, they get the chicken, they get the pasta, they literally forget everything. And that's called the Zeigarnik effect. It's that point where, because things are left open and not resolved, they stay in our memories. And so what can happen is, all the times when we turn away, the times our spouses want attention or just want to spend time or talk with us and we don't give them that attention, which we all do, those things stay open and they can stay in our memories, and the arguments that come out of those moments stay in our memories if they're not resolved. So in essence, what I'm saying, keeping it simple, is what happens is we don't resolve the little things. And those of us who know the Bible hear a lot and remember a lot of the emphasis that Jesus gave about if your brother sins against you, immediately, you go and show him his fault. If you're offering your gift at the altar, immediately leave everything and go to the altar. The Apostle Paul said, do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. Even scriptures have been teaching this idea of dealing with tensions, conflicts, disagreements, even the little things that may irk you, dealing with them in the moment so that they're resolved. What I've seen is couples will go through issues and they're not resolved. In other words, they're having the same fight in different forms because they never resolved the fight back in March, and other fights and other tensions kind of build up on top of it because of that effect, because it's not resolved, it stays in your memory, and eventually you'll actually forget the good stuff, but the hurts, the resentments will stay. So my biggest encouragement for 2017, if you want a fresh start, my first and biggest encouragement is small things often, this idea of in the little interactions, making sure that you turn toward your spouse, making sure that if your spouse makes what's called a bid for your attention, you stop, especially if they're hurt, but even if it's the small things. They want you to look at something they find funny in Facebook. They want you to give them a call during the day and just say, I love you. Those little things and those little moments will make the biggest difference in your long-term relationship. And I've seen that be the thing that gets people stuck. Next, I'm going to give you some practicals on how to specifically get unstuck once you're already there. So this is Antoine Lee. Thanks again. These are just my thoughts for coming into 2017, learning from 2016. And have a great time with your husband or wife.